John 8:52. Dixerunt ergo Iudai, nunc cognovimus quia daemonium habes. Abraham mortuus est, et prophetae, et tu dicis, si quis sermone meum servaverit, non gustabit mortem in aeternum. Therefore the Jews said, now we know that you have a demon. Abraham died, and the prophets did too. And you are saying, if anyone will keep my word, he will not taste death forever. As we move to the climax of this long conversation in John 8 between Jesus and his critics among the Jewish leaders, get a nice long chunk here that is quite easy to follow and intuitive, I think. So we get a typical speech formula here, Iudai dixerunt. The Jews said to him, although we don't actually have the ei that we often do here, they said, now we know. So this word, cognovimus, is from cognosco, and like other verbs formed from this root, nosco, when we have a perfect tense, we're going to translate it as a present in English. And the reason that we do that is because the basic sense of nosco is to get to know something. And if we say that we have gotten to know something, we've already gone through the process of getting to know something, then we simply know it now as a present result of that past action. So we're just going to say, now we know, nunc cognovimus. Again, even though that form comes to us via the perfect stem, we're going to translate it as a present, and then we're going to have a quia introducing indirect speech, not an accusative infinitive construction, but as so often in the Vulgate, we see quia, quoniam, quod being used this way. Now we know that you have a daemonium, you have an unclean spirit. Abraham died. And this form requires some comment as well. Morior, to die, or in the present infinitive, mori, is a deponent verb. That means sensus activus sed forma passiva, passive in form, active in meaning. So whatever this may look like to you, it simply means Abraham died. Abraham passed away. Abraham's mortal body gave out on him. And we've got to understand a repetition of this verb with what follows. We've got to understand et mortui sunt prophetae. Also, the prophets is all that we get. We've got to supply a second occurrence, notional occurrence, that is, of this same verb, morior, mori. The prophets died too. And in English, we might even supply the word yet, which would fit the context and the sense here. And yet you are saying, and then we're going to finish out the verse with a quotation of Jesus's words within the quotation. You are saying, present tense, if someone, if somebody, if anybody keeps, is what we would say in English, but we've got to recognize that this is formed on the perfect stem from servo, servare, and actually what we have here is the future perfect. So if anyone will have kept sermonem meum, my word, remember sermo is often simply the equivalent of Greek logos, the things spoken. If anyone will keep my word, he will not gustabit, he will not taste death. And then, of course, this last clause is just an idiom in Latin for forever. Now, in English, instead of saying non gustabit mortem in aeternum, he will not taste death forever. And of course, in Latin, we could also have done this. We could have simply said nunquam gustabit mortem. It would come to the same thing either way.